For cheap gold, items and other boosts for Diablo 4, visit aoeah.com. Check out the link in the description, you get 3% off with the code ARIAT. Hello and welcome everybody. Since the Barbarian has always been one of my favorites in all Diablo games, I naturally had to try out the Warrior in Path of Exile too, and he also feels really great to play. He's a bit slow in the early game due to a lack of area damage, but he develops really well in the mid game. I have now built a version that is extremely strong, especially against bosses. If your weapon has enough damage, you can just one-shot them. But the warrior also performs well in dungeons, although he can't compete with the sorceress in terms of speed. But you can gather larger groups of monsters and destroy them with a single blow. Of course, you can adjust your playstyle to your personal skills. Let's take a look at the skills first. The Mace Strike comes from our weapon and is our main attack for single targets. It doesn't consume any mana, so it's always usable. We use the support gems Devastate, Overpower and Ruthless. This setup allows our basic attack to quickly build up stun and destroy target's armor. However, you won't be able to use the third gem before around level 40, because only 2 sockets are available first. The 2 most important skills this build relies on are Thunder and Seismic Cry. Thunder is a very strong but unfortunately very slow attack. We'll use it for both, killing bosses quickly and taking down large groups of monsters. For dungeon gameplay, I use the support gems Fist of War, Brutality and Upheaval. The first 2 increase the damage, and Upheaval adds a bit more area to the attack, at the cost of damage and attack speed. For boss fights, however, Upheaval is replaced by Heavy Swing. We don't need a large area here, just a lot of damage. In the end, we will mainly play these 3 skills: Mace Strike for single targets, Thunder for groups and bosses, and Seismic Cry for our Bosskiller combo. More on that later. Of course, you have some further skill slots and buttons available, which you can use as you like. I use a one-handed weapon and a shield in the weapon switch setup, so I can include Shield Charge. I use this skill for mobility to move faster, sometimes to avoid and flee from monster packs, or to create enough space for an attack. For the passive buff, I initially used Herald of Ash, but later Overwhelming Presence is more helpful. Since Thunder is only available at level 31, we need to bridge the time until then. In the very beginning, Rolling Slam is a good option, and for a bit more area damage, you can add Infernal Cry as soon as it's available. From level 14 on, I used Molten Blast, which hits a larger area. But if you don't like this attack's playstyle, you can just stick to Rolling Slam. But I like Molten Blast for certain situations and still use it on my right mouse button. The early game is a bit slow compared to the Sorceress, but you should get through quite easy as long as you don't lack in resistances or armor value. Now let's see the skill tree. Once you have finished the first trial, choose Titan. Start with Crushing Impacts and then move on to Surprising Strength. At first, I mainly focused on damage and only picked up the defensive node Sturdy Metal. That has been sufficient so far, but I might invest in more armor nodes if needed in the future. To counteract the slow attacks, I also picked up some speed by the Blood Rush node and its path. Alongside attack, melee or two-handed weapon damage, building up stun is very important. After all, we need to stun bosses with the basic attack before one-shotting them, and we don't wanna waste too much time on that. So you can see I have skilled different nodes here to improve stun buildup and damage, but we also need Vocal Empowerment, as it allows Seismic Cry to trigger up to 2 additional extra attacks. This is essential for the Bosskiller combo. In addition, Skull Crusher and Split Zeros at the edge of the tree are very useful, and as you can see, I also plan to pick Honorless and Breaking Blow, for even more damage and stun build up. I'm not 100% sure where to spend points next. If I need more defense, I'll pick up additional armor nodes as mentioned, otherwise I'll continue to focus on damage and stun build up. But more attack speed would definitely help for a better dungeon performance, so I'll probably go down the tree for the speed nodes. Finally, the equipment. We need a two-handed mace with as much physical weapon damage as possible. Two affixes are helpful here. One that increases physical damage percentage-wise, and another one that boosts minimum and maximum damage. Additional ranks to melee skills and increased attack speed are also nice to have. Talking about the armor parts, prioritize pieces with high armor value, life and resistances. Additional strength is always welcome as well. I have already explained most of the gameplay, and the boss kill mechanic is also very simple. Throw out a few basic attacks to stun the boss, then activate Seismic Cry and hit Thunder. If your weapon damage is high enough, it should be a single shot. If not, repeat the combo once more. You'll also need to do this when helping other players, as monsters have significantly more life in group play. I hope you have a lot of fun with this build. Take care and may the loot be with you.
Follow me. Thanks. Goodbye.